at the prom. They had the prom at our building when we owned a building. Anyways, now we're live everywhere. So that means Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So welcome everybody. I'm so sorry. I'm just a little bit late for today. And actually, I think that I have actually done something wrong. So I'm going to just fix it quickly. Because I want to make sure that I'm not doing it incorrectly. So hang with me a minute. My name is Crispina French. I am a textile upcycling artist, activist, author, community host, business coach. I wear a lot of different hats, but they're all really connected because my passion is all about, just being really conscientious about what we're using, right? Like we want to have really good lives and have it be really fun, but we also want to make sure that we're not having a negative impact on the planet. And, so far humans aren't doing that great in the human impact part of things, just because, we don't necessarily think too much about what we're doing with our waste. And I think that it's kind of fun to start thinking closely to, just thinking about, there we go. Okay. I think it's all working now. So if you're tuning in with me, we are running 8 minutes late today, you guys. And why is it wrong again? I just don't get this. Hold on. Okay. Right now on Instagram, I am on the Rags to Riches feed, which, you know what? I think that I want to be on my feed. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everybody who's waiting. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take the time it takes to do it properly. So it doesn't have to keep happening. Okay. So we're going to go there. Is anybody watching? I would like to know if you're watching right now. My name is Crispina French, and I know it's kind of weird. One day I'll go into the whole thing about my name because it is a little weird, and people often think I made it up, which I did not. And right now, I am trying to work out how to find the right way to. There we go. Okay. I want to stream on Instagram. And I was streaming on a brand new channel that I put together that is called Rags to Riches. And I would love, Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling is a new account that I just created on Instagram. So if you are on Instagram and you wouldn't mind going over there and just liking it and like sharing it around, because I'd really like to build the audience at Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling. It's kind of the feed for the podcast that is relaunching launching for reals, I guess is a good way of putting it, on October 3rd. There's 6 episodes out there right now. So if you guys haven't had a chance to listen yet, Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling podcast with me, Crispina French, as your host. It's kind of hard to find. Like when I've tried to search it without using my name, it doesn't come up. But if you punch in Crispina French with those 2 lowercase f's, it's kind of makes it easier. Anyhow, Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling podcast is going to go back into our weekly release every Monday morning, starting on October 3rd. If you are a member of Stitcherhood over in my Mighty Networks online community, you get to listen a day ahead of time. So it comes out on Sundays for you beginning in October. And Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling Summit is kind of where that whole thing started. It was just about, I think it was not quite a year ago from right now, where I just thought, you know what, you guys, my name is Crispina French. I'm a textile upcycling artist, activist, entrepreneur. And for the last 37 years, I know you thought I was 37, didn't you? You thought I was 38. I'm not. 56 years old over here. For 37 years, I have been upcycling used clothing and manufacturers' waste, making things to sell. And Well, it was in 2008 where I stopped running my production company. I had 40 employees. We made product for stores all over the world. And I just thought, you know what? I just didn't feel right about it. I was like, okay, there was all kinds of things happening that were changing. I was sourcing my material from Italy instead of the United States where it had been generated. It just seemed like there was a lot of aspects of my business that were a lot less environmentally kind than they had started out being. So I changed it up and I wrote a teaching book, and I started really teaching and diving into like helping other people help the planet so that we can all work together and have, just lower our impact a little bit. Just be aware of it and know that it's something to strive towards shrinking. So about a year ago, I thought, you know what? I want to make that, I want to increase my ability to inspire that change, right? So my whole big why, if you will, is to have fun. First off, it's got to be good. It's got to be fun. And to decrease textile use, textile consumption, and to make a living. And so about a year ago, I thought, you know what? I think a summit is a really good idea. So it took me a minute to like wrap my head around like, what is actually a summit? What's a summit? How does it look? How does it work? How do you do it? So last April, right around Earth Day, I hosted the very first Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling Summit. It's all virtual. One way we can all diminish our impact on planet Earth is to fly less, you guys. Flying is so hard on the environment. So the summit is virtual. It's a 3-day event. We're just starting to really put the pieces together for our 2023 event, which is April 12th through 14th. So mark your calendars, my friends. If you are at all interested in learning from and being inspired by leaders, change makers, authors, artists, entrepreneurs, thinkers, educators, people who have like so much magic to share about textile consumption and recycling, upcycling, reuse, you got to go. You got to come to the summit. It's April 12th through 14th, 2023. If you missed it, well, if you attended the summit, if anybody's watching or listening who attended the summit, I would love for you to just post your, a few words about your experience, because honestly, I was completely blown away. I just did not have any idea, A, how much I was going to love it, B, how many people were going to love it, and C, how many amazing presenters that I was going to get to connect with and like really promote with the use of these amazing technological tools that we have at our fingertips, you guys. Really crazy. So I got a late start today, you guys. I'm sorry. So I was a little disjointed as we hopped into this live. I would love to know, where are you from? Where are you tuning in from? Are you my neighbor? I have a neighbor, Rebecca, who is participating in the stitch along right now, and it's so fun to see my home slice on the internets. So let me know where you're from, and how did you find out about this live stream? Is this something that you are planning to attend every week? Is it something that you just stumbled across and you just have no idea what the heck is going on, and who is this crazy lady in this blue sweater? Who is she? Or somewhere in between. I would love to know. So today we're talking about, I'm all about textile upcycling. I've been doing it since 1985. It's so funny how back then, and I say this jokingly, but it was not that funny at the time, that people thought I was simply crazy. They were like, you're going to make blankets that you're going to like put on children out of trash. Whatever, you're crazy. That's great. So yeah, I definitely don't want to buy your stuff. That's weird. And 37 years later, and I don't even know how much gentle, compassionate, thoughtful education. There's this huge movement going on, you guys, and people are really grabbing the bull by the horns and like making change happen. Has anybody read about Yvon Chouinard? Oh my gosh, the man he's the CEO. Well, he's not the CEO. He's the founder of Patagonia. He wrote my favorite book of all time called Let My People Go Surfing. He is an American hero. Honestly, he is an American hero. He is the most worthy human on the planet. He just gave his $8 billion company to nature, because Earth is his only shareholder, he says. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I say look at the New York Times put a beautiful piece together all about Yvon Chouinard. I recommend it. Read it. I can't do it any justice here other than to just bow down in honor to the man who has actually changing the world. And when you read articles, if they're online, tag Jeff Bezos and write FYI, right? Jeff Bezos has enough money for every single person in this country to not go hungry. I don't understand the problem. Why are there hungry people in the world? Why here with that kind of money available? He's got more, he couldn't possibly spend this money in 10 lifetimes. Anyway, I digress. What we're talking about today is this movement that you guys are all a part of. It's so exciting. Thank you so much for joining me here. It's been a pleasure to meet some of you, and I look forward to meeting more of you in the future. And one of the ways I am proposing to do that is through my Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling Summit, scheduled for April 12th, 13th, and 14th of 2023. And then before that, we have all this other cool and fun stuff that you can participate in. So one of the things is the podcast that will be, I put out 6 episodes of this podcast, you guys. And if you know me, you probably know that everything is kind of seat of the pants, right? Like I just try stuff out, and if it works, great. And if it doesn't work, I fix it, try something a little different and kind of assess as I go. And there's a couple things I learned from those first kind of they're not episodes, they're actually episodes. There's a trailer and then 5 episodes for the Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling podcast, which is on Apple Podcasts and everywhere that you normally would find podcasts. I think if there's a place that you're looking and you can't find it, please let me know, because I think it's pretty easy to share it in other places. But there's that podcast, it'll come out weekly on Monday mornings, starting on October 3rd. If you want to be part of the launch, there's going to be fun ways to win stuff. My friend Dan Bello, shout out to Dan Bello Ceramics. He makes the most incredible, beautiful porcelain tableware, and he's making some mugs that have our logo on them. And this is the logo, you guys. Like, I love the logo. It's, there's a needle and thread here, and then there's buttons and a pair of scissors in the middle. I don't know if you can see it. And if you're into this whole thing and you want to, we just started an Instagram feed. It's just called Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling. I'd love a follow. I'll follow you back. And so check that out. There's ways to win. You can win stickers. You can win the mugs. There's some other fun and creative things that you can win coming up for that. And again, we thought, last year's summit was so amazing, and it was our first time kind of putting it all together. So we really didn't know what to expect. And the reviews were amazing. Like there was just like, people were really blown away, myself included. So we put together a course that's all like recordings of each presentation that we had at the summit, and we're going to offer that I think just at the end of September. And it'll be cool because you can kind of you'll have the recordings that you can just access whenever you want. And there'll also be a Stitcherhood component. So if you're interested in meeting other people who are also in your arena with textile upcycling, Stitcherhood is an online community where you can meet those. You can just join Stitcherhood, but if you want to take that course, you can also you'll be brought into Stitcherhood as part of the course for a period of time, just to check it out and see. And then there's it's like Facebook, kind of like where you can communicate with each other on a similar thing. Like there's people have feeds, and you can post pictures, and you have your profile picture and all that sort of thing. But there's no advertising, and there's no algorithm. So it's our platform that we use to host the Stitcherhood upcycling, it's actually technically called Crispina's Stitcherhood Textile Recycling Society. So you can Google that up, or you can just go to my website, crispina.eco, to find out more about Stitcherhood. But it's an amazing place, and there's amazing people there. Our membership is growing by leaps and bounds. There's all kinds of, from hobbyists who are just kind of dipping their toes in and just kind of learning about what's available out there, to people who have 25, 30-year-old businesses who have been doing this nearly as long as I have and have found success and lived a beautiful creative life with the fruits of their creative textile upcycling. I see Sulma, you guys, is on the Facebook right now. And Sulma is actually, her name is Maria, but we called her Sulma, and she worked in my studio in Housatonic for years. And I just thought she was like the angel that came to save me, because she's from Peru and she had run a sewing factory in Peru. So she knew how to like make a process happen. So Sulma, I hope you're well. I hope you're doing well. I know that there's so much history. It was so lovely to see your face and your name come up. So I miss my people. I miss my people that worked with me. Were just like such lovely and amazing people. And she also, when she was an immigrant, she'd come to this country, and I just thought, it's going to get cold. You're going to probably need snow tires for your car. And she said, oh, well, it was cold in Japan. I know how to drive in the snow. It's like, what? Huh? So yeah, she had lived in Japan before she came here. Just, a little globe-trotting activity going on. So anyways, just back to ways that we can really help the earth, help ourselves. Because you know what, you guys, I just, a few months ago, I hosted a woman named Jane Milburn. She actually came and stayed with me in my studio. She was like my first guest after, I don't know if it's after, but during the pandemic, she came and stayed here. And, I actually have like my studios in a separate building than my house. So we were able to keep separated, but also have a visit, which was so lovely. And Jane she's from Australia, and her whole slant is, she loves to upcycle and she loves to reuse, and she's really a creative, amazing person. And she actually introduced the idea to me that there's actually science behind the satisfaction that is gained when you make things for yourself to wear. Like there's a thing that happens in your brain that makes you feel good. So not only is textile upcycling good for the planet and it's fun, but it actually is like, it serves you to benefit your mental health. Who knew, right? I mean, I did know, I just didn't know there was science behind it. So it was so very cool to make that. Like, she's a scientist, Jane's a scientist, and she's also a very creative textile upcycler. So it was really cool to just put that together and to know that there's someone out there who has the science who can share that with people like me. So if you're interested in learning more about any of the stuff that I've been kind of rambling on about today, let me know. Hop over, put a comment. Sulma, you know what? You got to practice your English, girl, because you're back in Peru now, and you're not probably using your English as much as you have been when we were working together. But I just want to thank you out loud for all the work you did with me, and just wish I could give you a hug. So leave a comment if you have any questions. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Sulma, put down your town. Where do you live now? All right, I know you're not in Lima. I think you're in a smaller town, or maybe you are in Lima. I don't think you're in Lima. Put down your town where you live, and how you found out about my live streams. I'm here every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, tune in. I'm on. The only time I'm not on a Tuesday is if there's like a holiday weekend in the United States. Like a couple of weeks ago, it was Labor Day. So that Tuesday, I just move all my Monday stuff to Tuesday, and I have an overlap, so I can't be with you live on Tuesdays when that happens. But let me know where you're tuning in from, and let me know if you have questions that I might be able to answer for you that are pertinent to textile upcycling or running a creative textile upcycling business. And with that said, you guys, I try to keep these sessions to 20 minutes. So it's just about 20 minutes. And I wanted to say that I'm working on a bunch of new product. I think I'll be able to share that with you next week on this show. But also tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening, I'm doing a studio tour. It'll be virtual, and you can join me. It's actually, you know what? Let me see if I can pull this up for you. I'm doing a virtual studio tour of my shop and my new work for this fall, where I will be selling that work at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. which is October. It's the third full weekend in October, and this year it falls kind of early. It's the 15th and 16th of October. It's in Rhinebeck, New York, which is, and you know, October in Rhinebeck is like just glorious. Like it's bluebird days, like blue skies. The trees are all like rocking the foliage, lots of maple trees. The landscape is gorgeous. And then there's like the most beautiful textile woolly things ever all in one spot. So, um, you know, I recommend getting to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival if you're in the region. And if you're not, maybe I'll do a little live stream just to show you what it's all about. But the studio tour that I'm giving Wednesday evening, it's at 5:15 my time, so that's Eastern time, same as New York City. And if you are interested in checking that out, you can, I'm putting a link in the comments where I think they populate in Facebook and YouTube, but probably not LinkedIn. I'll pop over to LinkedIn in a little bit and I'll pop that, you know, I'll put the link there for you. You can just, it's a purchase that you would do through my Etsy shop, and then we'll send you a link for the Zoom so you can join. It's 18 bucks. It's an hour long and kind of gives you a little taste of what Stitcherhood is all about. And if you are a member of Stitcherhood already, you can attend for $9 in if you're a curious member. And if, of course, if you're a collaborator or an alchemist in our Stitcherhood, it's free. It's part of your subscription. So I look forward to seeing some new faces there. I hope that I do. And if you have questions about that, you can leave them right in the comments of whatever feed you're watching at the moment, and I will get to them later today. I hope you all have a really good day, and I'll see you next week. Same time, same station, and a different textile upcycling topic. Thanks so much for being with me today, you guys. Have a great one.